there's a question that keeps finding its way back to my head. What's the point? Let's say, hypothetically, you have everything you need and want. Now what? You see, as kids, they always told us the story ended with, and they lived happily ever after. But as we grew up, that ending was no longer common. So are we being more realistic with age, or just lowering our standards in accordance with our disappointment? Maybe the movie ends at happily ever after because the proclamation is more of an emotion than a permanent state. Or maybe it's because there's no longer a story to tell. The older people get, the more likely they are to say, "when I was your age," living in their past. Maybe because subconsciously they assume their best days are behind them. So let me ask you again, if you had everything you wanted, the money, the looks, the charisma, a family, what would you do? Or maybe I should be asking you, what do you want? Oftentimes I find myself shortchanging this question with something like, what should I do? But you shouldn't confuse movement with progress. We all know those people who are always busy but don't seem to be getting much done. So stop and think for a moment where you want to go, because sure, you can start walking in the opposite direction and turn around, but it'll take a lot longer, and we all know time is indifferent to our wishes. See, we're animals, just like a bird, a frog, or a dog. Sure, we're built different. Some of us can fly, withstand extreme temperatures, or have incredible senses. Human specialty? Their brain. Despite this advantage, we still inhabit the same land and breathe in the same air. But because humans have this tremendous ability to think, we can make sense of constructs and principles without having to directly see them tangibly. But is this only an advantage? It allows people to go psychotic, commit suicide, and hallucinate. We define definites based on the consensus of the majority. An example would be time, which is great because now we have a metric to refer to and track past and future events. But what if in a world where we try to make sense of it all, we just end up overcomplicating it all? Let me explain. If you stare at a light too long, what do you see? Shapes and colors. But they weren't there before. So let me ask you, are they there? If you say no, then who's to say academics are any different? To be more direct, what I'm specifically alluding to is religion. The question I asked you at the beginning of this video, what's the point? Maybe there isn't one, beyond to just live like a bird, frog, or a dog. But because we want to believe that we have a greater purpose, we believe in religion to comfort us, that there's a plan.